In this video, I will walk you through the process of connecting a weather station to a Pearl control system. So you get a weather station coming here. This is a shielded full conductor cable. Again, 22 gauge, stranded, twisted pair, shielded. So the communication go to COM2 here, and green is on A and white is on B, and the shield is on the ground pin. And then power right there, that's 24 volts. Red is plus, black is ground. So coming on COM2, okay, so this controller is already mapped, and you can see it here. Outside temp, outside humidity, wind direction, rain, and there's outside light. Okay, so that's the weather station. Now I have another controller sitting over here representing a typical controller from a different zone. So typically we refer to the Pearl that is connected to the weather station as the gateway unit. So this is the gateway unit, and this is the zone controller, and there could be many of these. They're usually one of this go to the weather station, and then the weather station data are broadcasted to all the other zones. And how that's done is done on COM3. You see here you got COM1, 2, and 3. On COM3, you just have a shielded two conductor twisted pair. This is full conductor. This one's only two conductors because this controller already has its own power. That's back here. Right, so you don't need to send power from this controller to that controller. All right. So here we just have A, B, red on A, blacks on B, and the shields on the ground pin, the third pin over. That connect to COM3. And similarly here, there you go. You have one COM3, A, B, and ground. Okay, so that's the physical wire. I just have a spool wire sitting here, but this cable could be a few thousand feet. Is still fine. As always, keep the communication cable away from any noisy high voltage sources. Okay. So you see the weather station data here being broadcast from here, this controller. And if I go here, you see the number matches up. Okay. Light, there, and there. A place where you see the communication, if you go back here to go to this communication status screen. And similarly here, you go to here and you see this screen. So this is gateway unit. This is where it broadcasts the data from. You see right here, there's a IC capitalized. IC stands for intercontroller. Right? Every time it sent the message out, it broadcasts it. You see capital I, capital C. Data go through this cable, come in here, and receive. And here you see a lowercase IC. Okay, but these controllers are the same. So how do you configure that controller as the gateway unit and this controller as the zone controller? And that's done in the communication section. You go here, menu, system setup, go there, go to communication, press enter to highlight. You go down. The mode is gateway. Okay, you don't need to set the other parameters, just go gateway. On this controller here, again, this is where it receives. You go to the same place, communication. This is zone. Okay, zone here, gateway there. That's how it knows to broadcast and to receive. Okay, so again, back up here, back up here. Okay, now as a test, setting it out. Okay, it says the test, I will pull this cable. There. And you see the IC doesn't show up anymore. Let me put it here. You can see them both at the same time. You will see it, capital IC there, and nothing here. Now, if I plug into here, so I'm going to try to do it with one hand here. And if I do that, you will see it broadcasts here, and you see it there. Okay? And then we can check the mapping. So in order for this to receive the data, remember these two hardware are actually the same. The difference is how they're configured. So on this controller here, this is the zone controller. So you go to the setup input, which is under system setup, and you go down, setup input. You see out temp, out humidity, light, rain, all set to remote. Go here, remote, remote. Okay. So here, setup input, you set this as remote. You go back to this controller. This is again, this is the gateway. This is what the data being sent. And it received the weather station data on COM2. So this is mapped differently. System setup. You go to setup input, enter, and you go down. You see now the weather station is on board 1. Just for this system, happen to be on board 1. So you have to look at your Modbus table to see which exactly is your weather station, what board position is it in. So this is board 1. Out temperature is board 1 T1. Humidity, board 1 H1. Outside light is board 1 channel 3. Rain is board 1 channel 2. We go down. Wind speed is board 1 channel 5. Wind direction, board 1 channel 4. So these numbers are how the weather station wired up. So you don't change these. 5, 4, 2, 3. Okay. And these are the same. Now, if your weather station is on board 5, then all these 1 here, 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 here would change to 5. Okay. So that's how you set it up for it to transmit from the gateway unit and receive at the zone controller unit.